morning, everyone. My name is Barnett. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I grew up in a small town in Northwest Missouri, the kind of place where life felt simple, familiar, and safe. I was the youngest of 3 siblings, and from the outside looking in, we were like any other typical family. But as I got older, I learned something I hope you never have to experience. Life can change in an instant, and some changes are irreversible. I remember attending the Docudrama in 2006 with my classmates, sitting at the hangar, listening to Trooper Dale Reuter talk. I remember thinking, that could never happen to us. Not my family. We were just normal, everyday people. It felt impossible. But just 2 years later, that sense of impossibility became my reality. My family's reality. That very same trooper who had spoken to us that day, Dale Reuter, was the one who responded to my brother's accident. April 19th, 2008 was my 19th birthday, my golden birthday. I thought it was going to be the best year of my life. I was a senior, getting ready to graduate, go on to college, start a family, get married. But just 1 week later, on April 27th, everything changed forever. It was early in the morning when my phone rang. My dad was on the line, and I could tell he had been crying. Something I had never heard from him before. He only could muster up a few words. He didn't make it. My brother Max was 20 years old. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't a bad kid. He wasn't looking for trouble. He was just like many of you. That night, Max went to a party with one of his best friends. They had both been drinking. His best friend decided to drive, and Max decided to get in the passenger seat. They were only 6 miles from home, a 5-minute drive, but he never made it. Max was a jokester. He was always pulling pranks to make people laugh, brightening days with his humor. I remember walking into the funeral home later that morning, but part of me still hoped that it was one of his cruel jokes, and that maybe, just maybe, he had taken it too far this time. I half expected him to jump up off the cold steel table and say, "Haha, I got you." But it wasn't a joke. And in that moment, the word never took a new and permanent meaning. I will never get to see my brother again. I will never watch him get married, have children of his own. I have 2 beautiful boys who look just like him, who never got to meet him. My nieces, they did get to meet him, but they will never make any new memories with him. Never is a heavy word, and when it becomes your reality, it changes everything. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about Max. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if the answer is yes, please just raise your hand and keep it up. Do you enjoy spending time with your friends and family? Do you have plans this weekend? Maybe a homecoming, a football game? Do you have a pet that you enjoy playing with? Do you work hard at school, sports, a job? Do you have siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews that you care about? Do you have somebody at home who loves you and wants you to get home safe? Look at all of those hands. Max would have raised his hand for every single one of those questions. He was just like you. And if this could happen to him, what makes you think it couldn't happen to you? Some of you are 15 or 16 years old. Some of you already have your license, or will soon. Let me say this. Getting your license is exciting. It's a major milestone in your life. It comes with a lot of freedom. The freedom to go where you want, when you want, and with who you want. But with that freedom comes real responsibility. When you're behind the wheel, you're not just driving a car. You're operating a machine that weighs thousands of pounds and has the potential to end lives in seconds. Driving is more than knowing the rules of the road. It's about respecting life, yours, and everyone else's. Because once something goes wrong, there's no rewind button. So let's look at some of the hard facts, because it's not just emotional, it's real. Drunk driving. It happens after you've had too much alcohol and you're driving a vehicle. In 2023, there were 12,000 deaths in the US. 1 in 3 traffic deaths are related to drunk driving. Distracted driving happens when a driver loses focus. Maybe they're texting, eating, using their GPS, changing music. In 2022, 3,300 deaths occurred. That's about 9 lives every day. So these choices, to drive impaired or to drive distracted, come at a price. The first DWI cost anywhere from $25,000 to $5,000. The second DWI cost up to $10,000, and the third DWI cost anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. But let's be honest, no amount of money compares to the pain of losing someone forever. People often ask, why do we do this? Emma, why do you keep reliving this painful story? Angie, why do you keep reliving this painful story? Why come speak to all of you strangers? And it's simple. For all of us involved here at the Docudrama, we do it because if telling Max's story, if standing up here in front of you today, if seeing the scenes that you've seen earlier, if it just makes one of you stop and think before getting in a car with someone who's been drinking, or pause before picking up your phone while driving, then it's all worth it. If one life is saved, this moment matters. The pain of losing someone you love never truly goes away. Someone once told me, the worst part of losing someone isn't the day that they die. It's all the days after when you miss them. Don't let never become part of your story. Make the choice to never drive impaired. Make the choice to never drive distracted. Make the choice to never get in a car with someone who is. Because your never could be closer than you think. Before I close, I'd like to introduce someone who is incredibly special, not just to me, but to Max as well. Jennifer was one of Max's friends. She carries his memory with her, just like I do. She's living proof that even through heartbreak, we can still find strength, hope, and purpose. Today, she's here to share her own journey, her story of nevers, missed moments, and the lasting impact of one preventable choice. Please join me in welcoming my dear friend and Max's Jennifer.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer McGinness, and some of you may know me as Brody and Darkson's mom. Some of you know me as Mrs. McGinness, the preschool teacher. Some of you may have heard my name when you heard your parents talking about a terrible accident that had happened. And some of you have no clue who I am. Before I start, I want to thank you for giving me your attention. I know that in high school, you're busy, and most of you think you already know it all. I know I sure did. It might feel like you're just here hearing another one of these talks about driving safe, wearing your seatbelt. But my hope is that today, my story will stay with you long after you leave this room. Because if it does, it could save your life or someone else's. Today, when you walked into this church, he walked by 2 caskets. And although those caskets were empty, and it was all just an act, I'm here to tell you my story. The story where I had to walk into a gym and face 3 caskets. 3 caskets of people that you loved with all your heart. 3 caskets that held people I thought I would grow old with. 3 caskets that could have easily have been 4. You see, this experience happened to me, and I hope that it never happens to you or your family. 3 years ago, on August 4th, 2022, my entire life changed in 1 second. I was traveling 7 hours to a family wedding in Minnesota. I was with my 2 older brothers and my mom. We had a great day. That car was full of laughter as my brothers told stories of their crazy teenage years. Years where they thought that they were invincible. I was in the back seat, and I can still look over and see my mom smile that day. She was happy. She was spending the weekend with 3 out of the 4 of her children. As we drove, we made plans for the weekend. Plans that never got to happen. We were about an hour away from our destination, and the unimaginable happened. Those things you hear about, that, like Emma said, you don't think will ever happen to you. We were in a terrible car accident. We missed the stop sign. A simple stop sign. We were hit by a semi-truck. We were told that my mom and my 2 brothers were killed instantly by a highway. A highway patrol told us that no one should have survived in that car. But I did. I was trapped in that car for over an hour. The EMTs told me that they couldn't even see my face. The car was smashed so much. They held my hand and they tried to keep me calm. After the trailer was lifted off the car and the jaws of life were used, I was life-flighted to a nearby hospital where I spent the next 10 days. Then I was transported closer to home for the next 4 days. 14 days in a hospital. And here's what's strange about the human brain. I don't remember any of it. Not one moment from the accident. Last memories I have in that car were the laughter and the fun that we were having. Something so terrible happened to me. I was there, but my mind has completely erased it. That's how powerful our brains are. They try to protect us from the memories that are just too painful to hold on to. But what I do remember is the pain I felt when I heard that my brothers and my mom were gone. Those words that the nurses spoke to me when I asked why I couldn't get out of bed. They told me I was in a car accident. I asked them where my brothers and my mom were. And they said they did not survive. I remember the screams I let out in that hospital when the nurses told me those words. I have pain every day when I think about my brothers and my mom and the things that they are missing out on. You see, your family, they won't just miss you for a moment. They will miss you forever. In every moment that you are missing out on. Most stories that you hear at these events are about young teenagers, young adults that get in car accidents. My mom and brothers, they were grown adults, but they were still too young to die. My brothers each have 2 kids. That's 4 children that now live a life without their dad. My brothers have missed football games, a football state championship, basketball games, dance recitals, graduations, and family get-togethers. They're gonna miss the days that their sons and their daughters get married. They won't be there the day that they become a grandpa. They're gone forever. Life is hard, and it teaches you things. What I learned that day was that it was one mistake, one bad decision, one missed stop sign, and that's all it takes. One moment, one choice, and your life will never look the same. I often describe my life as before the accident and after the accident. You see, because a part of me died that day, right along with my brothers and my mom. For me, one of the hardest things is that I live every single day with the weight of being a survivor. Survivors carry guilt, and I carry guilt. Guilt of being alive. When I go to my son's games, I think, my brothers don't get to do this. I carry scars that remind me every time I look at them of that day. I live with physical pain and mental pain every day from that accident. And I will carry that guilt and that pain with me every day for the rest of my life. I wouldn't wish that upon any of you in this room. Another hard truth that I've learned is that you're going to take a photo one day. A photo that might be your last that you ever take with someone. On the slideshow, there was a selfie of my mom and I in the back seat as we were going down the road. There was also a picture of my brothers and my mom and I that we took at one of our several stops that day. Those photos were supposed to be the first photos of an amazing weekend. It's the last thing I have left of them. It was taken 3 hours before the car accident. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring, or even the next few hours. So cherish your life. Live it to the fullest. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you the truth. You're all at the age where choices come fast. Driving, drinking, texting, distractions. And I promise you, it only takes one decision to flip your life upside down. To flip your family's lives upside down. So here's the things I ask of you. Think before you act. Be cautious of your surroundings when you're driving. Slow down. Put your phone away. It can wait. Wear your seatbelt. Don't get in the car with someone who shouldn't be driving. Don't drive a car when you've been drinking, even if you think you're okay. And stop at the stop sign. You are not invincible. None of us are. But you do have the power to make choices that will keep you alive and that will keep the people you love alive. My story is not one that I would have chosen. Someone actually at church told me Sunday, they said, I'm really sorry you're qualified to speak at an event such like this. But if sharing it keeps one of you safe, if it makes even one of you stop and think before you make a risky choice, then it matters. Please remember me. Remember my family. And remember that one decision can be the difference between living the life you dream of or living a life full of regret and guilt. Your life matters. You matter. You matter to so many people. People that if you were gone, they would miss you forever.